Thank you, Mr President. My question is to the Minister representing the Minister for Health. Has the Minister gathered data to compare the two different virus management approaches, being mitigation, used in Italy, France and USA and elsewhere, or suppression, practiced successfully in Taiwan, South Korea and Singapore? In asking this question, I note that South Korea first let things get out of hand, like Italy, and then through rigorous testing, specific isolation and treatment, the South Koreans quickly brought it under control at minimal cost and with minimal disruption to their economy. Has the Minister gathered data to compare the two different virus management approaches, being mitigation, that has failed, and suppression, that is proving to be so effective and successful?
The Minister representing the Minister for Health, Senator Cash.
Thank you, Mr President, and I thank Senator Roberts for his question. In relation to the gathering of data itself, I will take that on notice. But in terms of the Australian government's approach, Senator Roberts, I'll reconfirm what the Minister for Finance, the Leader of the Government, has stated. This is an unprecedented challenge and it has required an unprecedented response. In terms of the Australian government's response, you'd be aware Australia is well placed with a world-class health system. We also have a health system and a health emergency responses that are flexible, they are scalable, and they are able to respond effectively to the evolving situation. Australia has been responding to rapid changes in the epidemiology of COVID-19 and activated and is implementing the Australian Health Sector Emergency Response Plan for novel coronavirus, which, as you now know, is known as the COVID-19 plan. Australia, because of the response that we have taken, is well placed to respond to ill travellers and those at risk of contracting infection with border isolation, surveillance and contact tracing mechanisms already in place. You'll also be aware that a 24/7 National Coronavirus Health Information Line is available for the benefit of Hansard on 1800 020 080. And what this health line actually does is provides health and situation information on the COVID-19 outbreak. Senator Roberts, I would also point out, this is very, very important, the Australian government is also aware of COVID-19 disinformation, misinformation and scams targeting Australians.
Time for the answer has expired. Senator Roberts, a supplementary question.
Thank you, Mr President. Minister, if the government adopted rigorous testing combined with strict isolation for people with the virus and for vulnerable people, then most everyday Australians could return to work with minimal disruption to them or our economy. Has the Minister modelled this, and will you consider changing Australia's mitigation strategy that is failing disastrously in Italy and wherever it is used, and instead adopt a rigorous testing and suppression strategy reportedly highly successful in South Korea and elsewhere?
Senator Cash.
Well, thank you, Mr President. And Senator Roberts, to confront the threat of coronavirus, the Australian government is ensuring we know who has it and where they are. Australia actually, as the Minister for Health has said often, has one of the highest coronavirus testing rates in the world. I'll just repeat that, one of the highest coronavirus testing rates in the world, with over 135,000 tests they have been completed so far. In terms of the outcome of those tests, for every 100 tests completed, 99 have returned a negative result. I'll say that again. For every 100 tests completed, 99 have returned a negative result. And that is why it is important that testing is only undertaken where the patient meets the national guidelines for testing.
Order. Senator Cash. Senator Roberts, a final supplementary question.
Minister, a second associated factor, hospital beds. In the 55 years from 1961 to 2015, the number of hospital beds per 1,000 people in Australia fell from 12 to 3.8, a decrease of 2/3. In Italy, the number fell from 9 to 3.5. In South Korea, though, it has risen from less than 1 to almost 12. Japan increased from 9 to 13. What will be the impact of high immigration numbers on coronavirus potential for overwhelming of our hospital system?
Senator Cash.
Well, again, Senator Roberts, the Australian government has put in place incredibly strict procedures at the border. You will actually be aware that we have taken a number of decisions in relation to those who are now able to enter Australia. And in fact, a number of the states themselves, and Queensland being the most recent, have also now put in place very, very strict procedures in relation to who is able to enter the particular state, and if they do, in terms of the self-isolation that they are now required to undertake. So, Senator Roberts, in answer to your question, the Australian government has taken a comprehensive response to the issues that you have raised.
Senator Antic.